Jacob Lowenthal dreamed of going to sleepaway camp, but his parents couldn't afford to send him. One summer, a camp near his hometown in Rhode Island gave them a generous scholarship, and Jacob's dream was finally going to come true. At camp, Jacob didn't have any money to spend on trips or at the camp store, and he felt embarrassed, sitting in the canteen next to his friends every single night with no snacks to eat while his friends were just all eating and enjoying. But despite this challenge, Jacob maintained a positive attitude and did his very best to just enjoy the summer. One day, Phil Lightstone, the camp director, walked by the canteen and noticed that all the kids were enjoying freeze pops and ice cream cones, everyone except Jacob. So he asked Jacob why he didn't have an ice cream cone. Jacob lowered his eyes and admitted that he had no money. Phil approached the canteen manager and said, "I just heard from a boy that he has no money to buy anything at the canteen. His account is empty. How could it be that no one noticed?" Phil then pulled out a $100 bill from his pocket and handed it to the canteen manager. He said, "I want to make sure that Jacob can buy anything that he wants for the rest of the summer. If the account ever runs low on funds, please just let me know and I'll refill it." That was 19 years ago. Jacob Lowenthal is now a successful real estate mogul in New York, and he was meeting with a potential investor from Italy. In casual conversation, the Italian investor said that he wasn't familiar with any organizations or institutions in Rhode Island except for one. And he then went on to mention the camp that Jacob attended that one summer as a child. Jacob was shocked. What were the chances that the only Rhode Island institution that the man ever heard of was the camp that he went to? Jacob told the Italian man about his experience at the camp, how difficult it was not to be able to have what everyone else had, and how the director, Phil Lightstone, paid for him and saved him from any further embarrassment. Jacob got emotional when he described how it felt to have someone care enough to help him during such a difficult time. The investor was inspired by Phil Lightstone's thoughtfulness and his sensitivity and said, "This is an institution that I'd be privileged to be a part of." A week later, the camp received a check for $500,000. True story. We're often surrounded by neighbors, friends, or even complete strangers who have less than we do. And we have a choice. We can go about our lives and remain oblivious to someone else's challenges, or we can stop for a moment, contemplate their situation, and do something to help. That simple, small act of kindness can impact someone's life and help improve the world, sometimes in ways we can never imagine.